Okay, so this is the wrong way around. Hello everyone, it's Michael Mechanical here for an interesting video. Now the reason it's interesting is because it's not directly related to vehicles or cars. It's not to do with cars specifically. It's actually more to do with my own leisurely time and stuff. So I do have one good thing to say. We do have car stuff in here. I mean, there's a car, there's a bike. That's probably my first car right there. That's a good joke, first car. No. But, well, I guess it's a form of transportation because it has wheels, besides two legs. So, I want to talk today about computer problems. And the reason I want to do that is because there's actually I'm one of those people who you think straight up, hey, he works on just cars. That's all he's good for. I've mentioned, I think, before I work on games. Um, I have a unique and very flexible skill set. One that's highly adaptable to just about any trade, which is really cool, even though I'm really young. But here's the way I look at it. Though I am extremely talented and flexible, I'm still not proficient in any one of those fields, meaning I can't do a better job than someone who's studied really hard to do it. However, I do have an understanding that something needs to be done right, and more than likely that person who's studied is going to do it better than I can because he knows why to do things a certain way. So, getting into computer problems, um, I've been enjoying myself a little bit playing games while my car's at the mechanics. Yeah, it sounds very ironic on this channel that my car's at the mechanic of all places, but I'm pretty sure I've said it before, I'm not sure. I took it there because I was having steel flakes after putting these brake assemblies together, going through the brake reservoir, the brake fluid reservoir, and the reason I didn't want to contend with this issue this time around is because I couldn't get all the air out of the system anyway. It was all done, and I already used up all of my brand new fluids. I had none left. I had to go back to the shops and buy some more, or I could filter out the brake fluids in there, and then what I could do with that brake fluid is put it back in as clean, and hopefully flush it that way. Unfortunately, that I don't think was going to happen for too many reasons to count. One is I don't want to get any sort of or form of contamination in the system, and also because I wasn't sure if I was going to solve the metal flaking problem. For all I know, those pistons are rubbing up against the wall, and I don't know, and I don't want to pull them apart to find out because as soon as I touch those again, I go through the headaches, and my patience wore thin pretty quick, and I didn't like that my patience was wearing thin, and I was getting stressed. So the reason I've been trying to enjoy myself a little bit is because I've been through a lot of stress since last year and the years before that, and so I'm just taking some time off for me. I'm gonna give someone else the work that I am not happy to do at the moment. See, cars aren't all fun and games because I have to take my car very seriously. It needs to be roadworthy 24/7. But I'll give you some good news. I don't think I'll be doing progress much longer, or better still, I'll still be doing it, but I won't be doing it as much. I should be getting into the computer problems rather than this, but no one's showed up yet, so I can talk as much as I like, and if someone wants to watch the video live, then cool. If not, I guess I can talk a little bit more about the car. Because computer problems is something that's entirely different to this channel's specifics. So I left it in the capable hands of the mechanics that are getting told they're dodgy, but to be honest, I said to them, that's not what they specialize in. They specialize in this. They stuff something up, then I'm going to be very upset. But if I told them to do that, they stuffed up, and then they charge me for it, it's one of those weird situations where you'd still be pretty mad, but it's not what they sell as a mainstream service, although they would to some extent. But the story I heard is how do you stuff up something on a car doing an oil change. That doesn't make sense to me, guys. I don't understand that. I don't know where I was at before either. But pistons rubbing against each other, my patience will thin. I've been taking time for me because I've been stressed out for a very long time. And the good and bad news was essentially might not be doing progress anymore. Oh yeah, now I know was because I'm going on as a job seeker. Progress is considered a hobby, not like a form of work. So essentially, on a day that they tell me you got to go for an interview, I have to say, sorry, Progress, I can't come in because I got an interview after blah blah. I can come in and work, sort of thing, because I'm getting the allowance which I've been given. I look at it this way: I've been given this allowance, and it's been the only thing that's been sustaining me over progress. Progress, the work, the end benefit of the year wasn't much because for someone like me, I can't afford a car. I don't have money to build a car. I have to work to build the car. And because I'm doing just the car, I can't put any money away to move out, can't put any money away for living expenses. And that is why I don't want to keep doing this line of work because it's only paying for the job itself. But in the end, I'll at least have a good car, which is a good thing to look at. So, as a job seeker, I've been told if I get a job opportunity and I get hired, essentially, you have to do your job. You're not allowed to quit, and if you get made redundant because you misconduct, then yeah, I also said to them, I'm concerned about this misconduct thing because I've had a lot of this in my work and it doesn't make me feel very comfortable. And I said, yeah, well, there's a lot of shonky people these days, so yeah, they shouldn't be hiring people that are shonky like that. So, but because of this scenario, if I quit, if I do any misconduct, essentially I won't get my allowance, which is going to help me with my expenses that I have to pay, like all my actual expenses. It puts you in a hole where you've got to pay people because you owe them money. I don't want to owe anyone money. So essentially, look at it this way. If you get given a job cleaning toilets, it's not worth it to quit, or it's not worth it to say, I'm not going. It's worth it to try and get a medical certificate if you can actually get one legitimately, but probably not illegitimately. I got to think about that one, because that one's an interesting one. Someone has to do it though. All the jobs around, someone has to do them. And they're always going to give someone like me probably the junkiest jobs they possibly can. But I look at it this way. I tried to pick Fritz and Cadell. Didn't work out for me. Medically speaking, it was not working for me. So in that scenario, if I was doing that job around here and I was feeling very sick all the time, I'd have to go to the doctors to get a Centrelink certificate to say I'm medically unfit to do these jobs. And so I would have that essentially scrubbed off as a medical reason because I kept getting headaches even though I was drinking heaps of water and looking after myself. I was working as hard as I freaking could, but I couldn't work hard enough to earn anything. So that was another one of those jobs which really, it felt like I was doing a lot, but because I had a headache, it might have felt like I'm doing a lot, but I couldn't do a lot because I was feeling very sick from doing the work. Anyway, we're 9 minutes 13 in. I don't think there's anything else to say other than here we are. We're at the point where we get to talk about the computer issues. So I've been playing a game. It's called 7 Days to Die. And the reason I've been playing this is because it has aspects of the gameplay I really like. I'm at the point where I really want to make a 4x4 truck, which is ironic because that's what we've got. And the reason I want to make it is because it seems like it's something that's going to carry a lot of stuff. And it's also going to do a lot of damage to the enemies in the game. The problem with it is it's a level 80, 85 item. And the highest level I've been in the game is 40. But the problem with that is I was playing with my dad. I'm not playing with him anymore. I'm playing on my own, and I've changed and I've started off a new character. I'm now about level 17, 18, 19, 20, something like that. Anyway, the computer problems I was having for ages was things were not responding, things kept breaking, things kept going cuckoo. So what I did, I optimized my PC as much as I could to get the most out of it that I possibly could, freeing up all spare memory, freeing up the CPU, freeing up everything I could. Now, it didn't solve the problem. Unfortunately, I found out after a lot of issues giving me grief and stopping me from being able to play the game, and finding out in the game there was some issues, which I'm not sure if it was because of this scenario or not, but I was finding things weren't loading in the game, so I was getting killed by things that weren't visible to me. And it could be because they weren't loading in for weird reasons. I also found my RAM, my memory on my machine, was also getting really close to the top. Now that indicates a memory leak, but it could also be another indicator of something else, which I'm kind of aware about. I'll explain a little bit later. I want to try and tell the story before I tell any juicy details. So, I'm playing the game most recently a couple of hours ago, trying to play it. It was almost crashing. Okay, I'm still playing the game, and then it almost crashes again. Okay, what's going on? What's wrong? And I press the buttons in the game to go and check out statistics of the game, and then it crashed again. I was like, what's going on? Next time this happens, I'm quitting. I'm gonna try and close the game. It went to uncrashing to crashing again. And it's like, come on, uncrash one more time. Let me close the game. Please, please, please. It didn't uncrash. It just crashed completely and stopped working. Windows was crashing. My browsers were crashing. Absolutely all the software on my computer just crashed. One after another, just crash. Before the game crashed, though, it was just Windows Explorer crashing. So, my computer right now is working very, very well. It's actually working better than it was before. It booted up like this. It's not super duper fast as my mum or my brother's, I don't think, but it's working way faster than before. This is because I upgraded a little bit, knowing where my bottleneck was. I don't think my computer was the hardware that I was using was actually falling over, or something was going wrong with it. I know the first one was falling over straight after getting it, which was really weird. The second one lasted about 5 years. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I'll do some more investigating a little bit later. So, I'm going to show you my screen. So, I've got my YouTube channel on this, and I have Avast antivirus because they do a really good job of protecting your computer. There is better stuff than this, but still they do a really good job, except they started going to a thing where I don't like it because they're trying to say, install this, then they make you install, and then they analyze your hard disk and say, there's all these problems with it. You want to fix them? And then you say, yes, and then they say, well, you got to pay us this much. And it's like, no. But they do a good job with their antivirus for free, but they do a little bit more than that within it, although they do kind of lie and they say, you've got to buy this to do this. But it sort of comes in built into that anyway because they believe in free antivirus. I can't afford full antivirus because it's expensive every year and stuff. It'd help them though because then they can improve their software and keep it up to date. But there's other software as well. Anyway, so let's get over to this screen here. I can't actually zoom in. So what we're looking at is something called the resource monitor. There's also a performance monitor, but this one is visually better. My CPU usage is currently down the bottom. Now, this actually used to be way up here, up to there. It was bouncing between the top and the bottom. I need to look at my memory because I haven't had a chance to look at it. It actually looks terrible like this. So give me a minute. I'm going to go Control-Alt-Delete on purpose because I like to have both the Task Manager open and the Resource Monitor because they do two different visuals that are very beneficial to my health, I call it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into the Task Manager. Where is the Task Manager? The Task Manager is not visually showing anything. Here we go. More details. Okay, this is what we want. It's a little bit different to what I had before, but we are using 3.6 gigabytes of memory right now. So this is what I want to look into, my memory usage. So this has been going cuckoo. It's nowhere near where it was normal running. It normally sits on 5 just for operations of the machine. It's sitting now on 3.5. My CPU was always running at about 35 all the time, and I never had this layout of stuff, so this is kind of interesting and cool at the same time. C drive says it's doing nothing, which is cool. So what was going on? What was I having a problem with? Well, this was getting capped out, and I don't know if it's gonna still cap out or not. I'm gonna have this to the side and visually look at how the memory is doing playing the game 7 Days to Die. But what I noticed was I had both of these open on this screen here, and while I was playing the game, I was looking at all the data, and I found that my hard disk here, has this little thing here. And it was always just flat line. There was just a flat line at the very top. It wasn't like all these bumps here. It was literally a flat line. Now, I'm not sure if I can explain or show a visual of what that actually looks like. But essentially, you see it going up and down like so. But then, imagine if you saw it just flatlining like this. It's like one of those things that show your heartbeat. Like, it shows the beat up and down, but when you are dead, it essentially goes flatline, and there is just no movement in it anymore. But if it suddenly just kicks up a little bit and flatlines, yeah, that's sort of what mine looked like. Mine looked like the sort of alive but sort of dead sort of thing. So heart coming back to life. But essentially, my hard drive was running at 10 megabits apparently. It wasn't running any faster. That was its flat line. It couldn't run any faster than 10 megabits. This disk has been performing at up to about 40 megabits per second. That's 4 times faster than my hard drive's max speed that I was using before. So, question time. What have I done to make this machine work so much more quicker and much more responsive and not break? For one, I'm getting Windows 7. I don't own it yet because I had no licenses or software in the shop, but essentially it's a fresh new installation of Windows 7. I'm moving everything over because we want to look at this screen. It looks beautiful. Windows 7 is brand new on this machine, and that is one of the reasons why I did this upgrade, because I needed a new fresh installation of Windows. That was one thing I needed to do. Another thing was I also got a new hard drive. Now, some people might be asking me, well, what kind of hard drive did you get? Well, everyone should know by this point in time, it is probably the smallest hard drive I've got. In fact, it is the smallest hard drive I've got. There is iDrive, which was the one I was previously using, and 102 gigs left, 2 terabyte. It was performing so slow it wasn't even funny. Now, Windows is operating on C drive, but the iDrive was the one I was running off of, and that one was chugging and chugging and chugging. It couldn't run anything anymore. Now, if I look over here, this hard drive capped it on essentially the first day I got it. It wouldn't work properly anymore. That drive was, I think, for Windows, but an old version of Windows, and I needed a fresh install because I didn't have enough hard drive space. As you can see, it's really small. Then I have an System Reserve, that's a USB, and that's a USB. They're both in the front 2 ports. This is the Windows installation disk, and this one here is the BIOS, the CMOS BIOS reset profile thing. So, the question is, what type of hard drive is this? I'm pretty sure this will say somewhere, and if it doesn't, I'm just going to tell you anyway. It should say, though. Come on, tell me. Cruiser, SanDisk. If it doesn't stand out in the name, it's SSD. And that's the point I want to point out, the SSD part. It is a solid state drive that I put in this, and that's why it hasn't had much hard disk space. Now, char 164, I know it's the CH. That is the one which is breaking down right now. That is HDD, and it's friggin' chuggy as anything. That one, that's char one, that char is iDrive, and I know that off by heart because it was the first boot disk in priority. I ended up swapping the cables around because I had a dodgy red one and I wasn't really sure how well the red one was going to work on a new drive. So I was thinking of putting the red one straight from number one to the new hard drive. But then I decided, I'm going to take this black one. I'm going to take it straight from this hard drive, put it to that one, and put the red one from in here to here. And that's why my old hard drive, the first priority one, is in the last place because I wasn't really sure how it's going to perform. So the question now is, how long is it going to take to boot up the game? Now, to explain how it boots up the game, it says pre-caching, allocating pre-cache or something. And for me, I would be making one of these drinks, and by the time I get back, it's around about 50% complete. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes just to get to the main menu of the game. After that, it takes another 10 to 15 minutes to load up the world. So it's kind of crazy. I'm not sure how it's going to perform. I haven't updated all my drivers. I don't even think it's going to run first time around because there's some other software stuff that I haven't installed that the game might need to operate. So, 7 days to die. That's loading. It might ask to update. It might not. We'll see how this thing loads. But from this point, the screen is going to flash black. It's going to say pre-caching. Depending on how fast that is, if it takes less than a minute. Here it is. It's on the wrong screen though. Fun pimps. Okay. Are you going to say pre-caching? Loading the main menu. There is no pre-caching. It didn't even pre-cache. What? That is crazy. There was no pre-caching on that screen whatsoever. But it shouldn't be going to that screen. Why is that screen priority? Come on. Just to prove what's going on, I'm leaning back as far as I can in case it goes back to that screen. This is priority 1 screen and that's priority 2. Why is it going on the wrong screen? I get to have a little bit of a laugh. Wait, is the game in the background or something? It looks like it's loading over here, but I'm not sure because there's the game right there. Come on. Why is the game on? What? What's going on? No, I don't want to quit. I want to hit the install button while I'm waiting. Why is the game on the wrong side of the screen? The game's on the wrong side of the screen. Come on. Come on, that's not my gaming screen. My gaming screen's over here. Oh no, I'm going to set this up. I want to see if it actually says pre-caching. That is the quickest it's ever loaded to the main menu. And I've done it already twice. This is the 3rd time, I think. And I've done it in less than 15 minutes. This is just ridiculous. Where is the pre-caching in that? There is absolutely no pre-caching. Loading the main menu, that's where it would say pre-caching. Loading particles, loading... That is ridiculous. Guys, I don't know if it's going to say anything. No, I don't have a... What? I don't... Okay. I'm going to go back. I'm not sure where their saves are in the game, but I'm going to try and hook up my game saves because that is just ridiculous. There is no pre-caching. That is the first time. I've never seen it. So what this tells me is, well, is that the fact that this hard drive needed pre-caching, this one didn't, and this one was running slow, and this one was running fast. Well, this is a brand new one, obviously. It tells me that my hard drive was struggling to cope. Now, depending on what happens, I'm actually going to make a video on this for other users and point out, show both of my hard drives in action against each other to show what the difference in performance was for loading the game, showing the age difference in the two, and showing that you do need to do maintenance to your system and sometimes flash We just say free and continue. I don't need to... No. I don't need to do that. And I don't need to worry about that. I don't even need to worry about viruses because it's a brand new install of Windows. Normally, you'd expect... continue. Normally expect the saves to be in a public documents folder or something. I'm not sure exactly where it's going to be, but when I find it, public downloads. No, I can't access it because it's in a section of the hard drive which is no permission. I'm not sure how I'm going to get permission to that, other than going onto this hard drive, going to percent up data percent, finding the game saves, copy, paste them onto this, and then move them from here to where they're meant to go. That way I don't lose my save data, because that's going to be a shame. If I lose my progress, that's going to suck. So, I'm actually going to do this on purpose. I'm actually going to do the restart. I'm going to restart this. I'm actually going to show you how fast this boots up, because this is also going to be me swapping the two discs around to show how slow it is, because this is a problem that I've had all the time. I'm sick of waiting. In the time that I've rebooted this computer, I'm going to reboot it again after I've let this boot up. I'm going to have a drink. Cheers, guys. This is a new computer. And my mum's and my brother's are already loaded right now. That's how fast theirs is. They don't get that loading Windows stuff on their machines. They're just so fast. Now, if I click on the screen, I've got passwords to put in. Again, with the passwords. Okay. Here we are. Windows has loaded up. And now we get to go back here, hit the power button, restart the computer again. And then we get to go delete. I love the mess. And there's how old my motherboard is. I want to actually find out if it's going to last now that I've taken the sticker off the CMOS battery. Delete or F2 to enter the CMOS. So, now I'm going to go to the boot menu. This is going to be really interesting. Not the SanDisk char. It's this drive. And it's so slow. I don't even think we'll get it to load in this video. Like, this is okay. I don't think this was ever really a major problem. It was still kind of, sort of slow. It wasn't that slow, though. I don't think. I can't remember how slow this was. It just took a while to get to the password screen. I believe. I could be wrong. I can't remember. I just remembered how slow everything was. It's just ridiculous. This is okay. Everything looks like it's loading. But we got a black screen, we got a cursor. It's loading something. And here opens up the password screen. Okay, put in your password. Okay, I put in my password. It's now welcoming me. There's already a considerable difference in the load time. It's already loaded on the other hard drive. There is no welcome. It's just Windows straight after logging in. Here we go. Black screens. Well, that's faster at loading the desktop than ever, so I guess that's a good thing. I'm actually curious right now as well, because I'm not really sure why. I've already clicked Google Chrome. I'm still waiting for it. Some of these icons are reloading. I don't know what it's doing, but I've already clicked Chrome and it's not loading. It's loading a lot of stuff. It's doing a lot of work. Yeah, I don't like that desktop background either, guys. I took the picture. It's a crappy picture. I tried to modify it a little bit with the sunlight. It's terrible. Where is Chrome? Come on, Chrome. Where are you? I'm making my point on how slow this hard drive is. It's ridiculous. But you gotta remember, there's only 100 gigs left. There's all these icons here. The other hard drive is just click, 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 click. Look, it's still, where's the cursor? It's still loading. Why is it still loading? This is ridiculous. This is just so slow. I'm gonna... Oops, I've clicked something that I didn't want to click. I want to go to the resource monitor. So I want to see if I can show you that flatlining. And I could probably download this video later. Come on. It's just taking forever to process the keys I just pressed. Come on, give me the resource monitor. It's searching. Come on, this is laughable. Where are you? There you are. Okay, let's see how the hard drive's coping with all this that's going on. Let's see if there's actually a flat line. It just sits up there with the little bumps going down and then just stops at the top and doesn't go any higher or lower. Tablet driver not running. That's okay. You know, we're not... Come on. It's not very responsive, is it? And then we open up Steam to go play a game. I'm actually going to get the opportunity to do that pre-caching screen because that opens on this machine. I don't want to reinstall Windows. I've got a bunch of stuff on here I need to get off, so I can't exactly afford to reinstall Windows at this point in time. However, I might be able to break this copy of Windows and remove the password that it will allow me to access files without requiring permission, which I don't have. I don't know how to get around that permission thing, though. So, come on. Windows. Look, I could probably drink this before it even loads, but like I said, it takes forever to load. And like I said, where's the resource monitor? Come on. This is what I mean by this hard drive. This hard drive is ridiculous. It's so slow. It doesn't even show the text that I've already typed. Like, I've got my hand on the camera. I've got my hand on the screen. My hand is in front of me. I can't show you both my hands, but I can show you my other hand. Here it is. I can show you the keyboard isn't getting pressed. It's not even loading. Come on. This is ridiculous. I wonder if it's still nothing. It's just that slow. It's this is how pathetic this hard drive is. It's not responding anymore. It's just unresponsive as anything. It might be falling over. I don't know what's going on. But this is one of those things where I said I've done performance monitoring of it. The CPU is getting used a little bit there, but it doesn't say much. That's the only monitoring of the CPU or RAM or memory or anything I've got. But it's just running that bad. Whoever knew this computer could run that slow? Control-Alt-Delete is a little bit quicker. And open start Task Manager. It still hasn't loaded up the Task Manager. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. I get to sit here and call my ridiculous computer ridiculous for a couple of minutes. Now, there's the memory. It's sitting about 2.7, 3 gigs. Why is now the mouse is unresponsive? Where's the mouse? There it is. Okay. We're on the performance screen. Open the resource monitor. This is actually the quickest way to opening the resource monitor because it's on this page. And you can already see it's spiked a couple times. I'm not sure how high that is, but this is 100. And if 50 is here, we got to assume that's about 30. And that's about 14. So 14 is there. So it's about 30 up there. It's done it a couple times on the new drive. I don't think the CPU usage is abnormal. But this resource monitor not loading is abnormal. This is why I just ran out to the shops and I said, I need a new hard drive. I need a new Windows. Give it to me now. But they said I can get Windows without the key for now. But I've only got a month until I have to register my Windows. So that's kind of good because I don't exactly have a month to wait for my computer to fix itself. So I'm fixing it now. Look at that usage. It spikes up so high for like moments and then spikes here. I wonder if it's actually 30 to 40 30 to 50. That's definitely above 50. There's no joke about that. 50's about there. That's about 50. There's no way that spiking is like 27. Okay. We now know that it's about 27 there. So if we double it up, that's about 50, maybe 60. I'm not sure. But that's how sporadic this computer's been running. It's been running sporadic as anything, trying to load things, and things have just been crashing and not running and doing stupid things. I'm gonna have to see what I can extract off the computer, but you can see we've been sitting here for like the longest part of like 3 minutes. That's probably 70% of the CPU right there. The memory's going up. We've been up on this computer for 8 minutes. Steam's still updating, verifying the installation. Steam is still not working. Everything is not working. Everything. Look, it's just crashing right now. Come on. Don't tell me that nothing's crashing. Come on. It looks like Windows is just crashing. Look, nothing's even loading anymore. What is going on? This is just ridiculous. Look, Windows isn't even responding. Now the mouse is broken. Like, here's my mouse movement. Nothing's going on. Nothing's happening. The mouse is just stuck. I bet you, if anything, I'll put my money on it, the hard drive is falling over. This isn't working anymore because something's going freaking wrong with the hard drive. Now, it still hasn't loaded the resource monitor. It's still spiking with the CPU usage. It doesn't know what it's doing. I mean, come on. Open the resource monitor already. Look at that spiking. I wonder if it'll actually give us a number to say actually how high that actually is. I wonder, because it's quite high. But I think this is only showing you the averages. It's not actually showing what each individual cell is doing, each unit of CPU is doing. It's now logging into the Steam account. And I'm still almost finished my drink and Steam hasn't loaded. This is going to be the best opportunity I'm going to get to show the problems of my game and my computer. Computer. I'm also only going to get probably one opportunity to do this, so let me go to my computer and just start doing this thing, because this is just ridiculous. How slow this is going, how broken this machine is working, come on. I'm having fun with this at the same time because I know I don't have to put up with this anymore. So it's kind of fun to know that I don't have to put up with this anymore because I got the new Windows. My cable management is poor. I don't have anywhere to hook up the cables. And so I get stuck with this. My desk is messy. Although I have started cleaning up. That used to be a mess. I keep jumping a lot of stuff in the drawers. I put my pens and pencils here because I used to have them here. I like having them there. I have less cables plugged in. Friends unreachable on a network. Okay. Who cares? Look how long it's taken the resource monitor. And look at that. Look at that hard drive. Look. Oh my god, it's not working properly. Okay. How many resource monitors opened up? Not many. Okay. Okay, now let's... there's my drink. I'm going to move it over here. Let's see if we can see anything with the disk usage. Like, it's running at 1 to 3 megabits per second. It's peaked out at about 10 megabits per second. So, where it's flatlining up there is where it flatlines in general. It doesn't go any higher than that for some weird reason. And as we can see, it says 13, but I don't know how high it is actually going. It says 13. The disk is probably lying because that thing normally expands up. Because that's its max there. It's not going any higher. Come on, give me some more details. I want to know. Views. I move this out here, it doesn't really go any higher. It just says free. I can leave this like this, and we can go view this. So, what I want to show you guys is what I mean. There's a Avast is picking up on a driver missing, but like I said, the problem with Avast now is, the latest driver, it's recommending install. Would you like to install it now? Yes. Now watch this paywall come up. This is the only reason. Registration required. Please register. Okay, yeah, we'll register. Is it free? Is it free? I bet you it's not free. I bet you have to pay money. It wants money. Money that you don't have. So that's the game. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can locate. Maybe not. There's my game time. Everything's just so slow. This game kept crashing. It just wouldn't play anymore. Now, we get to look at a bunch of data on this screen. We get to look at the memory. We get to look at the memory. It's already at 4 gigabytes. That's about right. The CPU is getting used up. The disk is doing nothing, kind of. Highest active time, 100 and whatever percentage that was. It's loading. There's the game loading. It looks so quick. It looks so fast. I prefer to have these the other way around, so then we can see the actual data we want to actually see. So we can see the game, at the same time we can see all the data, see where it flatlines. Memory looks to flatline a little bit. The RAM is going up. The CPU is spiking the buggery just on loading this game, and look, it's still stuck. Remember, you must restart later. Okay. Did Avast install it? No, here's your paywall. This is what I mean. They want you to spend money per month, per year. They want $70. No, thank you. That's the only reason I don't like Avast so much anymore. But I still like them. But if I had the money, I would, yes, certainly spend the money on getting the antivirus because they do a good job. Unfortunately, I don't have money, but I really do appreciate the service they've given me. That's why I'm mentioning it here in this video, except for the fact that they're putting a paywall in front of me. If you want this service, we can provide it for this much. If they don't do that, they won't make money to keep going. That's the point. And we're looking at the highest active time here. Look, it's got the flatliney things there for the blue, but I don't understand what that means. I got to look into it a bit more. But the read and write speeds are just so slow. It's just not running where it could be running very fast. I mean, the other one was spiking to 40 here. 40, that's 10 times higher than what's there. And the game still hasn't loaded. Yeah, this is what I mean by it is ridiculous. And I swear I will make a video using that camera, not right here, right now, but pretty much. So now it's starting to load up. Let's see what happens. We got a white screen. It better not be crashing, but I want to see the pre-cache loading thing, pre-caching files thing, because I believe it puts it all into the memory, because the hard drive isn't fast enough to cope, so it works off the memory. It's using the memory. The memory is actually pretty expensive compared to a disk, because it's like $100 per stick. Although my mum paid $100 for 2 sticks of the same quantity of RAM. My dad, he spent $300 for the same quantity, for more quantity of RAM than I have. His actually maxed out. So the network, the disk speed is just so slow. Look at that disk speed. 1 megabit per second. You gotta be kidding me. That is so slow, and it's active time. Why is it so slow? I'm gonna promise you one thing. When it does spike, I'm gonna guess it's when it's actually working. Look at that, 64 megabits for a second. And there we go, Fun Pimps. That was the loading screen for that. Black screen. Where's the pre-caching? Come on. It's gonna show. It's gonna show pre-caching. It never doesn't it never doesn't pre-cache. There you go, pre-caching files. It always does it on this machine. It always does it on this hard drive. Always pre-caches the files. And it takes forever. Now, my guess is it's putting it into memory. And this is why I upgraded my machine, because this was getting longer and longer. The game was crashing constantly. The disk speed is just so slow. And I kept rating it as 10, because up here it says 10 megabits per second, and it always sat up here, and then it's not running. And look at, it's just not running. It's just not working anymore. It's a dead drive. That's what this is. If you really want to solve a problem with your computer, if you ever have a problem with your computer, use the resource monitor side by side to your Windows Task Manager. They look different on the new Windows, but it can tell you a lot of information. For one, your games shouldn't look like this. That's weird. However, I will press buttons to try and get a screenshot out of this, because I want it for science purposes. This is what my game does, and I'm getting lots of bugs out of it, so I'm not really sure if it's the game or not. Now, I know my hardware is effing up. I have to say effing up, because look how slow that is. I would love to show my mum this and show that this is slow. This shouldn't be happening. I'd like to share this with my friends as well, so I've got a reason to make this video. I've got a reason to make other videos. I'm going to copy my these saves for this game, onto my other drive and play the game and enjoy what I want to enjoy. I'm also going to try and back up any work through Unity, any C#, anything that I can back up before this hard drive completely dies, because I need that. There is stuff that I need the other hard drive with a legit version of Windows on it in order to keep working on it, because the stuff is one of those things where it's got limitations. So, technically speaking, Windows 10 is this month only legit, and then I can't use it anymore. That's the way I look at it. And so I can't wait until I get my license, because I'm going to get a license. I'll make my point on what I mean by I'm getting a license, because that's not Windows 10. This is what I'm getting, and that's how much it's going to cost me. That is awesome, because that means I can get it tomorrow. Now, I'm going to make an explanation of how much this is going to cost you to fix your own computer if you're having these problems. To fix these problems, it's going to cost you about $200, $210, depending on what you need. I have a USB, I have a 3.5 inch drive slot. I needed a converter from 2.5 to 3.5. I didn't have the screws. That might set you back more. The slot itself cost $4. The drive itself cost $64. The software itself is costing $165. 165 plus 64 is 120 something. Then you add on the extra. Okay, I said 110. Let's put it up to 130. Might cost even more than that, because you might need screws. 240, 250. Let's just say borderline 250 for 200 gigabytes of solid state drive. It still hasn't loaded. This is ridiculous. Come on, get out of town. This is slow as anything. Look at that disk speed. It is literally at its flat line there. It's like, that's the flat line that I'm talking about. It's just sitting there, and that's little bumps. It's just showing how slow this thing's running. It doesn't want to run anymore. This is why the games are crashing. This is why everything's going wrong, because the drive's just dead. We're sitting in the water. I'm wasting my time with this video now because nothing's happening. So, guys, to put this story to a close, I had to spend more money that I don't really have in order to try to maintain my sanity a bit longer before I have to go back to work in a hot car with everything going wrong. This is how my life is. Everything loves to go wrong on me. The computer's breaking. The car's broken. My room is a mess. My mind is just stressed. Even my emotions are stressed with all the things going wrong. And then I've got to, don't make me mention drunk fathers. Don't make me mention the fact that I've got repairs that cost me all the money I saved. Don't make me mention the reason I'm getting a job for a status. The reason I'm going for Centrelink is because I don't have the money through this job. I was hoping to make the money in order to solve problems and be able to fix these things like easy as. But the stress, I couldn't do this. But I did it anyway because I'm in that boat, and I think there's a lot of people that are probably in a similar boat, where I just need to do something different. And look at my chair, it's even wrecked. I need a new chair. You want to see the hole in the chair that I'm sitting in right now? It's wrecked. Everything is just broken. I got new bedside tables because I never got them. My brother got them because my parents bought them for him, but they never bought me one. So, to make up for the fact they didn't buy me one, I bought me two. That's a good one. So, yeah, the game's still loading, by the way. That's how slow this drive is running. I'm gonna bet that the reason for my memory leak is because the hard drive's dying on my machine. And I'm having fun with this, I think, because the stress that this has been giving me, the lows, the money that I've had to spend, and it was cheaper than I was hoping. But now, I don't know how much the car is going to cost, which sucks. And the Zeto is fine, it still sits out the back, it might go, I have no idea. But I don't know how much the car at the mechanic's going to cost me to get the brakes flushed, to find out where the metal's coming from. And because of that, I don't know how much I'm gonna have to spend to get that fixed. Just like I spent money, I don't know if I have it to fix my computer. Also, because you're here, this video has all been about how slow this computer is running, and now it wants to perform a little bit faster. It is running really slow. There's the high points and there's the low points, and it's flatlining there. That makes a bit of sense. It's where it sits most of its time. This has been because you're here now. The reason I'm making this video is because everything's been stressful. This is one of those awesome problems I've been able to solve in order to try and keep my sanity, because the Triton's not here. The ZL can't be worked on because it's too expensive, and I don't have the money to spend on even this, but I spend it on here, money I don't have, because I need to keep my sanity. And then my car's at the mechanics because of the brakes. Grief to bleed, and then grief to deal with replacing brand new fluids again because the lines got filled with somehow metal, and that will just wear out your seals. And so it's the mechanics. They're the brake specialists essentially. I hope they fix it. I need the car by essentially tomorrow if I want to start working Friday, because that's when I'll start working. If I get the car back by Friday, I'll start working Friday. If I get the car back by next week, I'll start working again next week. But as I said earlier in this video, yeah, I know, I'm getting so close to 100. It's crazy. Like, I've watched this channel, and at moments I've been like doing nothing with it, and I've noticed just spikes of people subscribing, and it's just been like one of those things where it's like, do I let this go or don't I? It looks like a better opportunity than I've seen on any of my other YouTube channels. The problem with the videos I've got to make, they take a long time to make. I'm not proficient with making them, and they're not that great, to be honest. I'm being honest with myself, because if I could improve the quality, that'd be really cool. Replacing that camera will improve the quality, because that thing is pixelated. Even this video here is probably a bit pixelated and yucky colors and stuff. It doesn't blend very well. Well, I'm glad you think they do. I watch my own videos and I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed because I look at my videos and I look at all the professionals' videos and they're pretty different. The only downside of my videos is sometimes I've made mistakes. We've talked about something and I've missed some steps. I've missed some information and it's just ruined the fact that I've given information out there that might not be 100% true or accurate. I hate that about my videos. That's one of the downsides about the quality. That's one downside to the quality, and I think that's the most important thing. What I see myself trying to do in future if I make videos is, unlike what I've been doing with the camera recently, I've actually made mistakes in those videos too, where I've missed steps that I could have filmed. The catch with me is I get dirty, but I don't like getting dirty. Yeah. But if you look at the likes and dislikes, not really. I mean, if someone was really satisfied by the video, yeah, out of those 12k, I'd expect maybe a few hundred people to like it. Thank you. Yeah. But I will upgrade that camera if I keep doing videos. I will work on the ZL professionally as possible by doing the things professionally that I can do, getting others professionally to do the work that I can't do, or learning how to do it so that I can do it professionally. The thing is, you do need some engineering skill to get that vehicle roadworthy again, and the engineering experience it requires is someone to cut, shut, weld legally, because anyone can weld, but no one can do it in a manner that keeps everyone in the car from getting injured further than what the manufacturer tries to prevent. If you do a shonky weld, yeah, I've seen heaps of ZLs recently. Like, there was a yard which there was it red or green? I can't even remember what the color was. Over there on the highway, or I'm pretty sure it's a highway. There was Midas, I think it was called, the mechanics, and they had a ZL out the back, and I was like, after I finished going shopping, I was thinking I'd love to go and just have a look at it, and I was just eager, but I decided not to because I don't really want to walk around other people's cars that are like that and look like I'm a snoop or something. It just doesn't feel quite right to just go around looking at someone's car without them around, sort of thing. Then there was a silver one, and it's always been going there. There's a medical center just around the corner, and there's always a ZL in that car park. There's a red one that runs up and down between where I live and another place up that way, and there's a red one that always comes up and down every now and then. Out somewhere on the other side of Adelaide, I've seen one or two, and that was pretty cool to see. At least 4 to 10, I think I've seen in the past couple of years. I see them more now because I'm driving a lot more, so I'm guessing the idea of driving means I get to see more. I know there's a couple for sale, but most of the time I've seen one online that's $600, $400, something like that. The reason I won't buy it is because it's a rust bucket. It's not legal. There's a lot of things wrong with it. So it's still pre-caching. That's how slow this computer is running. It's horrible. But the good news is, in case you weren't here for the very early part of the video, I got a new hard drive in here. I'm fixing it. Had a dark wheel. That's actually a really cool number plate to have on your car, I guess. I'm gonna say this hard drive's falling over. It's not running well anymore. It's done. It's carked. It's kicking in the bucket. I'm gonna close most of the software on here. I'm gonna get my saves. I might even pull the plug on the hard drive before it completely cacks, so I have an opportunity to fix it before it actually cacks. You know, data recovery sort of chance. If you're talking about the computer, I've already got the replacement hard drive, and I already said earlier it could cost you about $250 to do it yourself. Mine is because I'm getting a new copy of in Windows. The hard drive costs about $65. The what's it called? 2.5 hard drive to 3.5 slot thing costs $4. I didn't have screws, but if I could buy them, they'd probably cost about $5. And that's where we stand. Windows costs $165. I've already showed the receipt in the video. But pre-caching files. This computer it's gonna live through an SSD. So that's gonna be the good part. Like, literally, my computer looks clean now because I pulled it out. I don't know much about Windows, so I didn't know Windows. Oh, okay, yeah. My Windows is gonna cost that much because Windows 10. I'm gonna show it again anyway. It's gonna cost that much for Windows 10, Microsoft Windows Home 10. That, and it's a USB flash drive. My mum's got a copy. Actually, I feel so tempted. The reason this is so slow is because of the hard drive. The game's only loading up. The game was just crash. Everything was just crashing. That's my computer. My mum's is newer. Hers is better. Yeah, she is playing a game. She got a nice colourful keyboard. She's got this case.
Who are you sharing with?
And people. Just people. Nice colourful power supply. I think Mum's a bit shy. I'm a lot of things. Brandon, I'm a lot of things. Like I said in the very beginning of this video, if you really want to watch again, or I could reiterate on what I said, I've got a uniquely very flexible skill set that allows me to do a lot more things than most people. But the catch is, I'm not as proficient as those who will just study a certain thing. Like, for example, someone goes to school, trade school, to become a mechanic. They probably studied a lot of mechanical stuff for a very long time. They're probably very good at it. They can probably do everything on a car. I can do things on a car, yes, but am I as proficient as other people? Probably not. I'm going to go to the movies tomorrow. I bought myself an early Christmas present because oh my god, look at this. This is just going crazy, the CPU, and then the disc is just slow. But yeah, we can see everything's like there. Unfortunately, Windows on this computer is just done. I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of places to be. This is gonna be my only chance to fix the computer, which I've already done. And my only chance to really go in. No, I don't have Forza. It's too expensive. I don't even have consoles. Well, I do. You want to play PS2? That was funny. Do you want to play PS2? PlayStation 2? I've got plenty of PlayStation 2 games somewhere. But yeah, I've been trying to say that it's cool. They're the only games I've actually got on console. But this is what I've been trying to say, is I don't actually have the money to keep working on cars. I don't have the money to go in depth with this channel. It's very expensive to work on cars. And to do things right costs a lot more money. Because you want to show people the right way to do things. If you don't have the tools to do it the right way, you're going to have problems. And I've seen how the mechanics do their videos. I've seen what tools they have and what experience they have. I've tried some of their methods. Their methods don't always work. Unfortunately, most of the time you need two people. In my case, I'm only one person, and that makes it very hard to make a video. Editing videos is a lot of effort as well, and I've lost my proficiency that I started earning with that because I haven't made videos for ages. I've just got the live stream now, which is to do with computer issues. Why are we talking about cars? Because car channel. So yeah, I'm just looking around. Believe it or not, there's a hard drive up there. I think there's actually 2 or 3 of them up there somewhere. I'm gonna add another one to the pile. Yeah, so in this room, I've got a lot of things to do. I've got to replace my desk. I broke it by pushing my wardrobe into it and smashing up the legs. Naughty me. That's one thing I've got to replace. Those side drawers, cupboard things, they aren't in the best condition. In fact, they need new slides in them for the drawers to slide in and out nice and neatly. The bottom ones are good. The middle and the top ones are bust. I'd say they've been slammed. They've been wrecked. They're second hand. I can't afford brand new stuff. And it was cheaper than buying one brand new. I bought two for half the, like, really cheap compared to a brand new one. Now I'm going to plan on ending this video. I'm going to get my saves. I'm going to move them to the new hard drive. I'm going to play the game and enjoy whatever I can out of the game before the computer carks itself. I'll eventually come back to this hard drive. I'll eventually extract all my data off, and I'll be done with this hard drive for life, because it is dead. It is going at 500 megabits per second. Come on! This thing's meant to be running at like 40 or something. No, the new one goes 40. I don't know how long the new one will last. But, I've got raw footage, video footage on my camera there for the brake system on my car. I'm planning on making a couple more videos in future. And what are we going to do? I'm going to make a future mods video because it was recommended. That's good. It's really cool to be able to respond to someone who's talking. In fact, it's boring to talk to yourself. I don't think today's been boring. I think today's been fun because I know I can get around this problem now. And because I solved the problem and it was really cool. So, in the end, this is how bad my drives are. C drive, broken. D drive, I have no idea. F drive, broken. G drive, I don't know. H drive, brand new, super fast, but super small. That's how I'm looking at this. So, thank you for watching. Michael Mechanical signing off. There's a Triton in the background if you want to, drive it around. It's not here. It's at the mechanics. Sorry, Triton. Maybe another day. Bye, Brandon, and bye everyone else.